Hello, everybody. Bill Krause, Leadership Unlocked. Leadership is a key, and we every month we do a class on leadership. We normally would do this at 6:30 in the morning, but due to the circumstances, we're able to do this 9:30 to increase our viewership and hopefully encourage you in the months ahead to pay the price to come at a 6:30 or tune in at a 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the classes. Leadership is key. Some people say leaders are born, some people say leaders are developed, some people say leaders are called. Everybody's got a different thing. I believe everybody's a leader. A leader is a person that influences, and every one of you is influencing. You're influencing people to come to church or not come to church. And you can tell that by your results. You're influencing people to work harder, and you can tell that by the people around you, how they work. You're influencing people to give or not to give. Everybody's influencing. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about our basics just real quickly, is that we announced this in our local house here, that Family Community Church, and I'm really going to gear this towards business so they can clip this out later, but at Family Community Church, we're all about faith, we're all about family, and we're all about finances. Those three things, because we're here to help you increase your faith, build your faith. We're here to activate your faith, to show you how to activate it. That's one of the big things of my life, is to show you how to activate that. And then family, listen, it's key. Too many people get it out of balance. I'll just say it. They either put too much family or not enough family. And what you need to do is obey God. Then you'll always be with your wife at the right time, your kids at the right time, in your church, in your community, in your sports, and everything else. As long as you let God lead you, commit your way into the Lord, and He'll direct your path. And then finances. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody has money, even the homeless, and everybody does what they believe in with their money. I'm teaching you to invest first in the kingdom of God. And if you invest first in the kingdom, you're on top of it. And my wife and I started out lower. Nobody started out lower than us, because we started at zero income. We did that. The longest stint was 3.5 years that we had zero income, paid all of our bills, met all of our needs. God's faithful. And today we're not in that condition or situation. If God told us to do that, we'd do it in a minute. But He has trained us. We have learned how to believe God for whatever we need, whenever we need it. Just like you do. I'll make it simple for you. Finances is like a grandparent or a parent. When a child needs a pair of shoes, the parents come up with the money somehow. When they need a yearbook or a prom dress, they don't even have any money. They're broke. Their bills aren't paid, but they come up with $500 for a prom dress. That's the way God is in my life. And He's never broke. He's never short. And He always takes care of me. So I'm talking about owner leaders, that I want to give you some points to meditate on, and you really should take these in notes, and hopefully they're putting them up on the screen for you wherever you're at, or whatever it takes. Owners, number one, here's the difference, and I teach this all the time, and people don't get it, and I see people go rogue and make decisions, but I'm talking about owners make decisions. During this time in my life, I've been called to go out into the community, and I work for a major corporation. And what I am is I'm a stock clerk there. I put stock on the shelves, groceries, sporting goods, different things that they sell. And my direct upline gives me assignments. They tell me to work this area or work that area. But I'm always making decisions to pick up the empty cardboard boxes out of the aisle. I'm talking about on the shelves from the product that was sold. I make decisions. They give me a pallet of, I got a pallet of toilet paper yesterday. It was literally about 9 feet tall. It just barely made it through our major back door. I picked a spot for that. They told me to put it on the shelf. I had to locate where I was going to put it. I had to equate how much it was. I had to determine where I was going to put it, and so it wasn't split up in all multiple places, because it was such a big order of that stuff. See, I made all the decision. I didn't go to my boss, well, what should I do? Where should I put it? Owner leaders make decisions. Now listen, you all make decisions, let's be honest. But most of the time you make decisions that are helpful to you and your thinking process. If you're going to make a decision as an owner leader, you have to make it for the benefit of the company, the benefit of all the people who work for the company, all of your customers, everybody. You can't just, it's like me in this environment. If I don't regularly teach this class, the person that teaches this class happens to be my wife, and she's not, well, she was available. She was going to actually do it from where she's at, but they let me do the leadership class. My point is, you see, I make it for everybody, because at some point they asked me to do this, and they said she was going to do it, and I'm just going to do whatever works. Let me go to number 2. But you got to make decisions. And if you have to be told everything, here's you. What should I do? What's the right thing? Listen, come on. You know the right thing, and you know what to do. I don't care if you're 4 years old, 12 years old, 22, 42, 82. You know what to do. You want to pass the buck because you're not taking ownership of the decision, okay? And number 2, you have to communicate. 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 What does that mean? It means you need to take what you're thinking and express it to those other individuals that need to know that information. Too many times I find out, we had a thing with a set of my notes, and some people knew it, but they didn't tell everybody, and then they gave me my notes because they're in a sequence. I'm doing a series, and they gave me the wrong notes last week, and guess what they did this week? They gave me the wrong notes. Now, I'm not mad at anybody, but it wasn't communicated when we found out the notes were wrong. Now, you have to take time. See, here's why we don't communicate. Communication takes time. In order for you to take the information you have and give it to other people, it takes time. And you can't assume, you can, but it'll cause you problems. You don't want to assume that they already know it or you told it to them before. You want to bring it fresh and you want to tell them. So we went through it again. And again, I'm not mad, not hurt, not offended. 4, 8, 10 sheets of paper, we can afford it. God's good and I'm good and you're good. But communicate. What happens in your marriage? What happens between you and your kids? You stop communicating, you stop dialoguing, and you think you know what they're thinking. I taught a little while back, if you ever hear anybody say these words, you don't love me. Ever heard those words? You don't love me. How do they know what I am? No, what they should say is, I don't love you. But my point is, they're communicating something they don't have a right to communicate. You want to stay open. Number 3. Leaders say we. If you've ever heard me talk, I'm always talking in the we. You talk about your overtime, I say we have 40 hours. I'm talking about your business. It's what we're going to do. We are doing. I'm not the owner. I don't get a dividend check. They don't give me any money. They don't give me any credit. They don't give me nothing. I'm not looking for anything. I'm the we. Why? Because I'm an owner leader. And when I'm working that situation, it's a we. Because why? A we is a team. An I is a me. See, again, when I make a decision, I make it for the we. I make sure that everybody that's involved in the equation, to the best of your ability, somebody maybe not, but you hear what I'm saying? The majority of the people, not just what's convenient, but what's best for them is what we're going to do. So leaders say we, because they say we are going to do this, not I am going to do this or you're going to do this. We are going to do it. We're going to do it together. So listen to your talk. Most people do not talk in we. Does anybody ever heard me say the we? And you wondered why? Because I'm an owner, leader. I'm buying into what we're doing. You may be doing all the work, but it's we, because I'm working with you, thinking with you, supporting you, encouraging you. All right, point number 4. Make problems into progress. Guess what? Stuff happens, man. Listen, I'm going to tell you, in my world, maybe you'd say it's something I'm doing wrong. I'm not here to argue with you, but I want to tell you, I have to make problems into progress. Stuff happens. People say they will, and then they don't. People say they're going to take care of it, and then they forget. They say they're going to do it one thing, and then they call another person other than the right person. They say they're going to pay for it and they don't. They say they're going to come and they don't. So make problems, take whatever's not working and turn it into progress. The reason that we have the quality of what you're seeing behind me and around me and the cameras is we had problems, and we took those problems and we made them into progress. I'm going to give you a footnote here as an owner leader. Sometimes when you get so busy taking your problems and turning them into progress that you can forget some of your other areas. So whenever you're making problems into progress, make sure you take some stop time to pull yourself over here and think it through. Am I missing anything? Is there any other areas I have to work out? And if you do, that'll help you out tremendously. Point number 5, you got to look for the big picture. I've been involved with multiple entities over the years. I love what I do. I can do multiple things. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 businesses that I am, 7, excuse me. I have 7 businesses, organizations that I'm the CEO of. I do that and I run those. And when I say I run them, I'm not running the day-to-day operation. I'm not building the widgets. I'm not selling the product. That's not what I'm doing. When I'm telling you that I got to look for the big picture, I have to tie that all together. And I have to look at that entity separately and then look at the big picture. Because I'm telling you, you have to watch and make sure you don't just look at your part of the problem. Because in one of the entities, I always remember that I don't want to get into all the details. We had an entity and there was different departments and they wanted to each one have their own equipment that did the same job. It wasn't that they used that equipment all the time, but they had a reason. I said, why can't we share this copy machine? Why can't we share this stapler, whatever it is? Why can't we work it? Because you're all doing it in the same area, but you all want your own stuff because they weren't looking at the big picture. Listen, folks, if you want to be the owner leader that you're called to be, and every one of you are called to be owner leaders. And by the way, let me make this very clear. Is everybody ready? Listen very intently. You are an owner of what you believe in. I have a friend, he owns a boat. Can I tell you what that boat owner does? Oh, baby. They make sure everything's clean, gassed up, tuned up. Come on, help me out here. And I got a golfer buddy, and his clubs are all clean and all in the right spot, and the balls are all, why? Because he's the owner of that golf bag, and he's the owner of that boat. But are they the owner of the church they go to, the soccer organization? See, why do you pick your ownership? If you're an owner, you have an owner mentality. I think as an owner, everywhere I go, I don't turn my ownership off. Now, I tell you what I have turned off. I have to turn off my expression of my ownership ideas. Because when I go to the airport, I'm fixing TSA, American Airlines, the baggage, I'm fixing it all. But I have to say that within myself. I never shut it off, I just don't broadcast it now. Oh, look at you, you got to fix the traffic lights. You think you can fix something. See, those are people who are not owners and not leaders. Or they're leaders, but they're leading people to mediocrity. I'm leading people to success. I'm leading people who want to win. I don't want my giving to go down, I want it to go up. I don't want my income to go down, I don't want my health to go down, I want it to go up. I'm leading champions to victory. And that's the big picture. You got to look for the big picture. Too many people want to look at their part. What's convenient to them? This is what I'd ask you. You ready? I'm going to break this down real simple. Look at the relationships in your life. Married, you and a child, you and a friend, you and a coworker, you pick any group you want. When you make your decisions that involve that person, do you communicate, as I said earlier? Do you look at the big picture and look from their point of view? Or when the young man here wants to go out to eat, he says, hey, you want to go out to eat? He says, yeah, of course she does. She doesn't want to cook, doesn't want to clean. Of course she wants to go out to eat. So he and the wife go out to eat. What does he do? He pulls up to his favorite restaurant. He doesn't check with anybody or anything. You see, I used to take my wife, hey, Bill, let's go out to eat. Okay. We pack up. I pull up in front of a Chinese restaurant. I mean, makes sense, don't it? Inexpensive, good food, healthy. I mean, come on, everything in it is value, price, experience, positive, wonderful, good taste, good food. Guess what? I can eat Chinese food every day. The Chinese people do. And so, but my wife, that's not her stick. That's not what she likes. That's not the way she rolls. So I have to look at the big picture. And you look in your relationships, and too often you're making decisions. Because see, your relationships are the beginning of leadership. How you treat your spouse, how you treat your kids, how you treat your mother, how you treat your father, how you treat your neighbors, those are all developments of your leadership skills. Let's move on here. Number 6, accountability, ladies and gentlemen. Owner leaders have accountability. They're personally accountable, and they want people to be accountable to them. Again, when that boat owner is pulling up to that pump and putting that premium gas into his tank, he puts regular in his car, but premium in his tank because he wants that boat to really hum. See, he's taken ownership of that boat. He wants to make sure there's no water or junk in that gas. True or false? When that golf member goes out, when that fishing guy, they're owners of the tools, the equipment, so they take care of it and they put everything away and they make sure it's clean, they make sure it's right. Are they doing that with their work stuff? Are they doing that with their company stuff? See, without accountability, responsibility is out the window. Owner leaders are responsible people. You know why they're responsible? Because they're accountable. I can tell you this, again, I'm right now involved in 7 different entities that are businesses, that's not counting the other entities I'm involved with. Now, here's what I'm telling you. I'm accountable. When I'm going to break, I tell my boss at my other job that I'm helping out the community with, I say I'm going on break. I say, this is what I'm doing, and when I'm done with this, or they'll say, can you do this? I said, it's going to take me another 10 minutes to finish this up. See, I hold myself accountable. I don't just walk off and leave the job unfinished. I don't not tell them and just do something. I'm accountable. Why? Because I'm an owner leader. Now, can I tell you something? I'm working for a major corporation. They got it dialed. They know what they're doing. They've been in business a long time. They're very successful. We're very profitable. I get all that. I think as an owner every day. Every time I walk through that store, I pick up cardboard that's on a shelf. Not because it's in my section. I straighten the wine bottles out. I don't drink wine. I don't want wine. You can do what you want. But I straighten out those wine bottles. Why? Because everything looks presentable. Are you seeing? Now, I don't ask for any recognition of that, but I hold myself accountable because I am responsible. See, that's my store. Who's hearing? See, that's my store. That's my profit. Even though I'm not on the bonus level, I want them to bonus as high as they can. And already we're at the maximum that we can bonus for our thing for the whole rest of the year. I wonder why. Anyways, I'm now exercising my thinking and my process that I use every day of my life, that they would put in new bonus principles. Because when you have people that are excelling, and when I look, the top 5 are 28% ahead. The bottom 5 in the grouping for that company are 28 below. Hello, that's 56% different. One's 28 down, one's 28 up. The 28 up deserves, I don't care about policy, change policy. They deserve something extra, and when you cap it off, you're slipping into things that are not beneficial to this nation. A man needs to be rewarded. When I say a man, a human being needs to be rewarded for their endeavors and their successes. So without accountability, you're not a responsible person. Now, you're all, everybody, listen to me, everybody's accountable somewhere to something, but you're accountable to what you agree with. And wherever you are accountable, you're a responsible person. And where if you're not accountable to your money, you're irresponsible with money. If you're not accountable to your time, you're irresponsible with your time. So, put that all in there and figure it out. Number 7, owner leaders, they know they make a difference. Guess what? I'm making a difference. And somebody can say, well, you're not making a difference in my life. That's on you, not me. I'm giving you good stuff. I'm telling you what works. I'm leading. A leader knows the way. a leader goes the way, and a leader shows the way. I know it, I go it, and I show it. If you don't have enough sense to follow, that's on you. You live any way you want, because I'm going to end up with my result. I'm an owner. Everywhere I go to the airport, I'm an owner. I go out in the parking lot, I'm an owner. I'm in the community, I'm an owner. I go to another city, I'm an owner. I go to another country, I'm an owner. I went to Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of the Congo. They're still doing a major cleanup there from when I went out and cleaned up. But you see, if you don't know, I'm Caucasian. And in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, there's not a lot of Caucasian people. And if they are there, they don't work. I went out and I did the cleanup. Why? Because I know the way, I go the way, and I showed them the way, and they're still doing it today. And their comment that they kept saying in French was, "We don't get it. Why is the white man working like this?" Because I don't ever ask somebody to do what I'm not willing to do. I might not be able to do it. When I say that, well, I have people do things for me all the time. And it's not that I can't do it, it's just better for me to have somebody else do it, but I am willing to do that. And if it's an imposition to them, I'll do it in their stead if need be. So I know that I make a difference. You need to know that you don't make it. Hey, I can tell you, wait, whoa, you're wondering, well, I think I make a difference or I don't make a difference. Can I tell you, if you know you make a difference, you cannot show up and it doesn't matter. I just took 3 days off last week. I took 3 days off from my other job. And when I did, I notified the bosses. I went in and applied for vacation time, not paid vacation, it's unpaid for me. But I applied for vacation time saying I wouldn't be there, and I got it approved. Why? Because I know I make a difference. And when you just don't call in, or they call them call outs at work. So-and-so called out. See, they're called in and said they weren't coming. I couldn't do that in 100 years. I couldn't tell you I was going to come and mow your grass and not show up. I couldn't tell you I was going to paint your house and not come and help you paint. I'm not going to do it, because you see, I know that I make a difference. I know that when I go shop at a store, I make a difference. I know when I go to work somewhere, I make a difference. I know that having this meeting today, I'm making a difference. It's not, well, somebody could say, well, you didn't make a difference in my life. That's on you. I'm telling you the truth. You have to make you can miss. See, people can miss church because they don't make any difference. They can miss work. They don't make any difference. They can miss giving to their charity. They don't make any difference. They can miss showing up for their sport team. Do you know that they teach kids in sports, if you don't practice, you don't play? And they tell them when they're playing, if you don't show up, it's going to make a difference. Listen, you're washed up when you're in not even middle age in sports. You're a burnout. You're finished. It's over. Life is I make a difference. And if you know you make a difference, then you're on time. If you know you make a difference, then you show up. If you know you make a difference, then you communicate. If you know you make a difference, you follow all these things that I just showed you. I make a difference. And I know you make a difference, and I know you can make a difference. Now you have to decide whether or not you're going to be who you are. All right, write this down. When you have to be told what to do, you have little ownership in the way you work. I could call these fishermen up, which all the real believers quit fishing. But anyways, that's a joke. That's a joke. Cut that out of the tape. You don't have to beg them to do that. They make a decision. They don't have to be told what to do. They just do it. When they're taking the boat out, when they're going their golf, when they're doing their things, I'm not hurt, offended, disappointed, nothing. I don't have to be told what to do in any of those entities. I show up. I get off of my job. I get off at 1 o'clock. The first thing I do is I drive to my other station in life, and I put in my next 8 or 10 hours. And when I come, the first thing I do is I check in with my front entity and my staff, and I check in with them. What do I need to do? Where's the mail? What do I need to do? Show me, tell me. Are you hear me? But I don't need to be told to do that. You know what I can do very easily? And if you worked the 8 hours I did, you'd be going home for a 4-hour nap. But I don't do that. I don't need to be told to come and check in. I check in automatically. Why? Because I have ownership. You have little ownership in the way you work if you have to be told what to do. One of the young people, they work for the same organization I do, and I told them this very day, just before this broadcast here that I'm shooting this work here. I told them, they said, we haven't had a lot to do. I said, this is what I'm telling you. If they don't give you something to do, find something to do. Clean, straighten, do this, do that, go to another department. Don't get in trouble, ask somebody. Well, my boss wasn't there, so I didn't know what to do. No, go ask somebody else. I figure it out myself. I mean, I've got enough experience and maturity, but I asked my boss, what do you want next? What do you want next? See, when you have to be told what to do, if you got to hold somebody's hand, they're not with you, folks. I don't have to tell my wife what the way I want my meal cooked. She already knows. I don't have to, she knows what to do. She knows the way we roll in our house. She knows our system. When you have to be told what to do, you have little ownership in the way you work. Let me do owner leaders. This is a number of statements, quotes, whatever you want to call them. Owner leaders, I called it OL in my notes. Owner leaders trust themselves to do the best thing. See, I trust myself to do the job. I don't cut corners. Back in high school, a few years back, I cut a corner one time. There was a loop. You might have heard me tell the story. There was a horseshoe, and I was dawdling, looking at birds or something, and we were out running cross country. It was a practice. It was not a race. And so I looked around. Everybody was ahead of me. So instead of going all the way down the horseshoe, I just went straight across. Finished up that run that we were doing and got to the end. The coach said, how you doing? I said, pretty good. He said, did you take a shortcut out there? No, I didn't know he was watching me. See, I didn't know he was watching me. Some of you need to go to the high school I went to. Maybe you'll be under the coach I had. Maybe you learned something. And he said, you took a little shortcut, didn't you? I said, yes, sir. He said, go the whole route again. No shortcuts. And I went again. See, I learned in high school, shortcuts don't short, they long. Right? They get you in trouble. I don't ever take a shortcut. If you talk to some of the students right now, many of them, whatever grade they ended up going to their formal education in the classroom because they ended up finishing up at home, you know what they did? They got that grade. Now, they could get a higher grade if they put more effort in, but they couldn't get lower than that. So you know what they did? Well, I'm not putting in any effort. I don't have to do any of this. No, you missed the point of school. Whatever you're learning at school, you're not even going to use in the real world. Come on. Give that up. That ended in about the third grade. Everything's going to change. Technology is going to change. The world's going to, everything's going to change. But see, owner leaders trust themselves to do the best thing. I do the best thing. Not just best for me. You can count on everybody to do that overall. I do what's best for the whole picture. Owner leaders, I trust myself that I'm not taking a shortcut. I don't take extra breaks at work. I don't stand around talking. Ask anybody that visits me. They come. You talk. You can stay as long as you want, but I'm going to keep right on working. I'm going to keep right on working because I'm not there. They're not paying me to talk to you. Now, I'm happy to talk to you. I have people I know in the community that come by the store that I'm at. But I'm not there to stand around watching the paint dry. You can trust me to do the best thing. And you need, if you're an owner leader in the truest sense, you'll trust yourself. Owner leaders look for results. They know their role. They do what they say they will do. See? We have in this one organization I'm part of, we have a saying that when people are leaving and they're supposed to be coming back, they'll say, hey, we'll see you at 5 o'clock. Guess what? You can count on them not to come back because there's no reason to tell you they're coming back at 5 if they're coming. But they're telling you that because they know they're supposed to be back, but they know they're not coming back. And you can almost set your watch on the fact that they won't be back. Owner leaders look for results. I need results. I want to know results. I want results from me. I want results from you. I want to know. At our entity, we have a top shelf where if there's extra things that are for sale won't fit here, we put it up above. And I always say it this way, you can't buy it from above. You can't buy it up here. They even say if you want assistance, ask for one of our associates to help you. They're not supposed to be, you're not supposed to come and touch that stuff. So I have to make sure on my watch that I bring that down. I want the results. I can't sell it on the top shelf. Bill, you act like you're the owner. Do you have stock? I don't have any stock. I have stock in me. See, you have ownership of the boat, so you take care of it. You have ownership in the rod and reel, so you take care of it. If I go out and use your boat, it's going to come back just like you gave it to me. It's going to come back filled with gas. It's going to come back clean. It's going to come back right because I don't own it. My name's not on the title. You gave it to me for 4 hours or 4 days. But when you get it back, and if I break anything, I'm going to tell you, by the way, Bob, I broke this thing. Whatever it cost, you tell me, and you get it fixed the way you want it fixed, and I'll pay the bill. Why? Because owner leaders look for results. They know their role. I know that I'm an influencer. I know that I'm a difference maker. And you are too. It's just, is it positive difference or is it negative difference? They do what they will say they will do. Do you do what you say you do? I have people tell me I'm going to give money, but they never give money. I have people that are going to buy product, but they don't buy product. I tell them they're going to do a task, they don't do a task. That's not leadership. That's not ownership. And again, you talk to any businessman. Come on, come on. They own that business, baby. That's how they make their money with that tool. They make their money with that truck. They make their money with that building. And they take care of that, baby. But I take care of everybody's everything the same way. Because if you are a hireling, excuse my freshness here, if you'll take care of your stuff, but then you're not a true owner. You're just selfish and want to make money. I take care of everybody's stuff that way because as an owner, I know what it means when equipment breaks. I know what it means when you don't represent well. I know what it means. And if you know that, then you're going to do right. Owner leaders understand the contribution they make and the impact they have on those around them. I know I make a contribution. I know that I have an impact. I know that I make a difference. Why? Because I'm an owner leader. I know when I drive down the road. Now listen, I've watched people I know and people I don't know. Do you ever notice they run the red lights? Do you ever notice that we used to have a thing in California called a California stop? And that meant you kind of rolled through. Now they don't even slow down. They don't, you rolled and slowed down as a California stop. Now it's the California run. You just go. And you don't care if anybody's coming or not. You don't care who's got the right of way, you see? You watch yourself drive next time and you keep a little tally of how many times you blow a stop sign. That's when you don't come to a complete stop, look both ways, and go. Okay? And you probably don't know 5 people, I'm one, find 4 others that really stop for all them stop signs. And if it's at a time when it's not busy, they think stop signs are only for busy times of traffic and red lights are only for the busy times. People will sit, because I drive during the dark time, you know, early in the morning, and I watch people, they're sitting, waiting for a left-hand turn, a red light. If it don't change quick enough, they do look for traffic and then they go. They have no place or presence. Okay, moving along. Owner leaders understand the power of conversation and how to listen. See, conversation is not me telling you what to do. Conversation is me listening to you and you listening to me. I talk to you, you talk to me. And we make sure that we have the terms settled. And I am an owner and I listen intently. I listen all the time, and my staff and different people, and I do it everywhere. I'm always listening. They do not listen, and they'll say this. I said, they didn't say that. They never even thought it. They never even mentioned it. Or I'll say they did say that, and they say they didn't say that, and then we go get the person, and guess what? That's exactly what they said. If you're an owner, come on, when they're talking to you about your boat or your golf clubs or your fishing rod or your business, your customer, come on. What? How deep's the rock going to be? 4 inches? Let's put that in writing. 4 inches. Right? Because you don't want to put 5 inches in, because that's 25% increase in product. See? Owner leaders understand the power of conversation and how to listen. Ladies and gentlemen, start listening to the people you live with. That'll be a good beginning. Let's move on here. Owner leaders know their inner values and live according to them. See, my values are inside of me. You don't have to tell me to be on time for work. In fact, where I work, I start at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's my shift, 4 a.m. So what I've learned is if I clock in about 3:57, I can sneak into this other area, and I do sneak, and I go in there and I start working. And I work about 10, 13 minutes, and I'm throwing stock. I'm loading up the product. And then I slip out, and guess what? I'm showing up with everybody else for the meeting. Well, there's maybe 2, 3 people there. But the meeting don't start, and I got to stand around then. But I'm not wasting that 13 minutes. Well, who's listening to me? See, I know my values. I know that me standing around for 15 minutes is costing money. I'm not doing it. Now, when I say I sneak, I'm not doing anything illegal or immoral. I'm simply clocking in a little early, just a couple minutes, so I can get over to a work area before anybody else starts walking in, or the majority. Am I making any sense? See, you know your values. I know the principles I live by, and I do live according to them. I don't pick them today and change them tomorrow. I don't work hard today and not hard tomorrow because I'm a little more tired or worked a little longer or had to stay up all night with one of my enemies. No, they get a full 8 hours out of me every time. Owner leaders recognize the need for change. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to recognize the need for change. Everybody loves change. Don't tell me you don't. You change your underwear. Come on. You change the places you eat at. Come on. You want new furniture. You want new clothes. You change your hairstyle. You change your nail color. You do like change. You don't like the change you don't like. Owner leaders recognize the need. There's a need for change. We're in a time of change, dramatic, radical change. They constantly adapt. What do? I adapt to my situation. They say, will you go do the cardboard? You know what I do? I go do the cardboard. I don't think it's the best use of my time, but they need me to do cardboard. You know what I do? I go back and do cardboard to the best of my ability. They say we need to do the top stock, and that means pull it off that top shelf and put it down here in the shelf. I do everything. They say we need you to go here, go there, do this. I just do it. I say, yep. I say, color it, done. I need these pallets. I need them taken care of. I need them up on the shelf. I say, color it, done. And I make sure that I keep where I'm sweating. I told my boss the other day, I said, I'm going in the dairy cooler. I'm going in to cool off. I'm not sneaking in this time. I'm actually going, I got to cool off, man, because I'm like percolating. You understand what I mean? They're constantly adapt. They identify and evaluate the challenges. Listen, there's always challenges. I met with a group and I told them, we don't know what we're doing. And maybe that doesn't make any sense to you, but you're lying to the people. Oh, we got this all figured out. No, we don't. There is no playbook for today. There's no playbook. There's no rule book. There's your integrity and your values, and that's inside of you. Okay, owner leaders. I'm going to finish this up. Owner leaders connect the present to the future. Then encourage the team to build that future. See, you have to connect the present. What are we doing now with where are we going? Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get there, you got to connect what you're doing now to the future. That's why there's no playbook. We're writing it. And what are we doing? We're doing it day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. We're accepting that the need for change, and we're constantly adapting. Why? Because we are in a different time than anybody we ever knew. Even if you knew your great-grandfather when you were 5 years old and now you're 70 years old, they never went through what we're going through. So it's a different time. Owner leaders have and live an entrepreneurial thinking process. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to be entrepreneurial because you're an owner. You talk to any business owner, talk to any boat owner. There's different things, different water depths, different situation, different skies, different waves that they have to be entrepreneurial. They can't say, no, I decided to go this way and I'm going this way. No, you got to go with the wind and the waves and the contractors. They have to adapt to their situation. You have to have an entrepreneurial spirit. That's a can-do. We're going to get it done. We can make this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, quit saying you can't and say you can. Quit trying to figure out why you're not going to do it. Listen, I talk to too many people. They'll say they'll do something, and then they make a phone call or an effort that says, I'm not going to do it. Listen, you're not being entrepreneurial. You're not looking at the big picture. You don't know the confusion and the difficulty that you're causing the people who are thinking and working and making a difference. Owner leaders have and live an entrepreneurial thinking process. Think as an owner, think as an entrepreneur. Know that you can come up with a solution. Know that you can make a difference. Who's that guy? The guy, we all read the thing about the guy wanted for the iPhone. He wanted the protective glass. And they went to the glass company, the owner, and he said, we can't do it. And he said, you can do it. Don't be afraid, you can do it. And then that guy went to the plant and they said, we can't do it. And he said, don't be afraid, you can do it. And guess what? In a matter of months, they couldn't do what they were going to do in months. Listen, don't tell me what you can't do. Get up off your lazy, hazy summer days of nonsense and stand up and be a man or a woman and be what you're called to be, and quit telling me, I can't do that. That doesn't work. It works. Make it work. Find a way for it to work. Quit making excuses. Quit acting like a baby. You ever talk to kids? My brother took my socks. I couldn't get dressed. Right? Right? They're making excuses. Quit acting like a little kid. Be entrepreneurial. Say, I'm doing it. That's the end of it. There's no... a lot of companies right now, they're lowering people's standards. I would never lower my quota. I don't care what the company does. I do it. You don't understand the environment. No, you don't understand being an owner. See, what they do is they say, well, we'll pay you full commission if you hit this. And what do? Isn't it amazing? You know what they do? They hit that percentage. If they wouldn't have given them that break, guess what they would have done? Worked a little harder, worked a little smarter, been a little more entrepreneurial. You want to know? I'm going to help you all out. You ready? This is my big business tip of the day. You ready? Big business tip of the day. You know why you don't make more money? Because you're content with what you're making now. I grew up in Detroit, and the automobile plants were on strike, and they were fighting for I think it was the 4-day work week. They're on strike for something, and they came and said to the guy, says, you know, you work 4 days a week. How come you don't work 3? He said, because I can't make it on 3 days' pay, but he could make it on 4. See, you know why you're not making more money? Because whatever you're doing is taking care of everything you need in the life you want to live. And if you'll just expand it, that's why I'm always expanding my giving and my living. And I don't live outside of my means, but I'm telling you, I'm always expanding that stuff. Why? Why do I expand that stuff? I expand it because it keeps me growing and going. Otherwise, if I'm just taking care of my own little self and my own little grouping, and I'm not looking at the big picture, then I got plenty of money. Write a $10,000 check today to your favorite charity. And then wait a minute, I'll give you another opportunity later tonight in another meeting to write another $10,000 check. Then when you can't pay your rent and can't make your truck payment because you gave the money, maybe you'll work a little harder. Maybe you'll do a few more jobs. Maybe you'll dance a few more dances. Whatever it is your product is. But no, see, you're making it. And you think you're doing all right. All right, let's move on here. Anybody getting anything out of this? Yeah. Owner leaders monitor performance and give feedback. Listen to me. I'm always monitoring performance. Ask them. They bring me the analytics, and I'm watching and doing and being. And then I give feedback. Why? Because I monitor performance and give feedback. I monitor performance and get feedback. And people don't always like that, just as a point of information. Are you watching me? I am watching you. I watch you pull in the parking lot. I watch what time you come. I watch what time you leave. I watch how many people you talk to. I watch I said earlier before this all started, I see a man stand or walk and I can tell you where he's at. He can fool you, but he can't fool me because I observe and I watch. I monitor performance. And the way you stand tells us something. And the way you talk tells us something. And the time you show up and the time you leave and what you do while you're there, all is performance. And I'm not talking performance-based, and we don't care about people. And then I give feedback. Hey, I noticed you were late. I noticed you got your hair cut. I noticed I noticed you're a little tired today. I noticed you look very nice today. See, I noticed, I watch performance, and I give feedback. Moving right along. Owner leaders adapt to changing circumstances. They adapt. You got to change. I change every day. And guess what? Can I tell you something? You can be the big shot all you want, big shot, but let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you this flat out. I have to adapt to other people all the time. I thought you were the boss. I thought you were the owner. I thought you were this. I thought you were that. Yeah, I am. So what? I have to adapt to changing circumstances, because you have to adapt to the person who calls in sick. You have to adapt to the person that doesn't want to work a full 8-hour shift. You have to adapt to you have to wear a mask. You have to adapt to, you're constantly adapting. Listen, I don't have to adapt to nothing, but I'm an owner leader, so I'm always adapting to changing circumstances. Owner leaders identify and take opportunities. First of all, they identify. You see, if you don't identify, you can't take it. You can't see, here's a good book to read. Oh, okay, here. I'm going to interrupt this broadcast so they can edit it out, see? So we can continue sending these broadcasts out. I have on my phone. I missed a call, aren't you glad? And then somewhere in here, where is it at? Somebody help me out. Where is it at? See, I've been asking people, I'm not a fundraiser. I don't raise funds. Fundraisers are people that are low on money. I'm an opportunity giver. See, so I have this to give. All I got to do is pull this up and then hit this little button, and then I put in something. What do I put in? TV? 15. Do I put the dollar signs? We'll see if I did it right. And then I hit this, and it went, and see, I gave $15. See? Easiest thing in the world. Why? Because I identify and I take opportunities. And I did that wrong because I usually give $1.50 to that, but I'll give again. I identify and take opportunities. When I'm at work, I identify and take opportunities. I was standing at work the other day in that job, and I'm there, and this young lady, I don't know, I'd guess she's 35 to 45, I don't know how old she is, and she starts pouring her heart out that 2.5 years ago, her 18-year-old daughter died. And I immediately am moved with compassion that what a horrible thing to lose a child, right? And so I know a book for people when you lose someone you love. And no matter if you're an atheist or a devout believer in God, the book helps you. So I immediately tell her, well, I've got a book I'm going to give you. And when I went in to buy the book, guess what? They had a plaque that talked about a river and the rivers joined back and something to minister to her, to help her. Why? Because she's going through a very difficult time. Do you see? I identified and take the opportunity. We're not friends. We're not going out to lunch. I don't want to date her. No, seriously, she's a wonderful person. I'm not even looking to build a bigger relationship with her. We worked together, and she lost her daughter, and she's still hurting over it. That I identified, and then I took the opportunity, and I invested some money and bought her a present. And what did I do? Buy her a book, and I bought her a plaque that'll help her walk through it. Owner leaders take responsibility and are accountable. You say, Bill, you covered that before. Well, I'll cover it over and over. They take responsibility and are accountable. You ever break something and not tell anybody? It doesn't matter what it is, a tool, a window, a door. Come on, y'all looking at me strange. See, take responsibility. I tell them, listen, I dented your car. I did this, I did that. Get it fixed. I was driving somebody's car and I was coming down this real narrow turn thing in a parking lot, and I took the car and I hit the concrete and it put a gouge in their car. I didn't just walk away. I went back and told them, hey, by the way, I was driving your car. Thank you for letting me use it. I put a thing about as big as my finger, or not quite as thick, but you see, about this long, and it was a cut in the plastic bumper. I told them, take it to the place, get it fixed. I didn't have to do that, but I had to do that. Who heard me? I take responsibility and I'm accountable. So I said, look, you get it done, you get it fixed, you give me the bill. All right, next. Owner leaders manage their time for maximum performance. Man, I could do a whole, in fact, next month I'll do manage their time for maximum performance. If my staff will remind me, I'll teach this in my next leadership class. Because see, I work over 100 hours a week on the clock right now. I'm not bragging, I'm not complaining, it's just the way it is. And I don't have that. I went 10 weeks, working 7 days a week, 70 days, didn't take a day off from either one. I can only work 5 days in the other one, and those other 2 days I work at my other job that I'm called to for the rest of my life, and then and I just go from one to the other. And I'm not bragging, I'm not complaining, but I have to manage my time for maximum performance. I have to sleep well at night. I have to eat when it's time to eat. I have to make phone calls in my office, which is my rolling office, which takes me to my jobs, and I start my calls at 3-something in the morning in different time zones in different countries. And I'm moving and I'm working, and on my break I'm taking care of emails and texts. And then on my lunch I go to meetings and take care of business and do what I have to do. And then I go back to work, and then I leave, and as soon as I get out of that job, I come to my next job, and I check in there, and I check in with my office, and I pick up the mail, and I do whatever I have to do that's my responsibility. You have to manage your time for maximum performance. I don't have time to take a 30-minute shower. God bless you people that don't have a life. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I'm in the shower to get clean. I don't know what you do there for 30 minutes, and I'm not really asking, so don't explain it. But my point is, I don't have 30 minutes for a shower. I don't have 30 minutes to eat. I don't have 30 minutes to do nothing. I do have more than 30 minutes to sleep. Who's hearing me? So, maximum performance. Owner leaders are solution focused. Don't tell me it can't be done. Say, I'm not going to do it. Tell me I don't care. Tell me I'm not interested. Tell me I don't feel called. Tell me anything you want. But don't tell me it doesn't work. I'm a solution-focused guy. I'm going to get the job done. When I saw them 4 pallets of product that I was responsible for, and I looked at my clock, I don't look at the time all day, but I wanted to figure out how am I going to get this done? I have to start thinking. And this really big guy, he's, I don't know, 6-8 inches taller than me. And this pallet is stacked up 9 feet tall, right? So his reach could get the top. So I have him pulling the stop off. I said, I need your help. And he came walking by. Without his help, I could not have done it in the timeline, because I would have to go up and down a ladder. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, I calculate that. I'm solution focused. Who do I need to help me? How am I going to get it done? Where are we going to go? Owner leaders are willing to rethink their thinking. Listen, some of you old fuddy-duddies that are 17 years old and can't change your mind, you got to rethink your thinking. We're living in a different age. Nobody's ever lived through this before. Things are crazy. People are over the edge. You got to rethink your thinking. Rethink your thinking. What am I talking about? Owner leadership. You know the pilots have their names painted just beneath the canopy of the aircraft? Military, whatever. Why? Why do they put their name? Because they're taking ownership. That's their plane. They take pride in that. I want to give you this quote. This is by Henry Cloud. He's a clinical psychiatrist and business consultant. In a very real way, ownership is the essence of leadership. When you are ridiculously in charge, then you own whatever happens in a company, school, etc. Do you hear me? Where does it say that? I'm ridiculously in charge. Now listen, nobody has to put me in charge. You don't have to hire me. You don't have to pay me. I'm going to do everything I can to make things a success. Doesn't matter what you do. I'll ask you questions. I'll stir you up. And now there's people I ask them, I try to help them, and they make it very clear that they don't need, want, or going to do anything, and they rather complain than move ahead. Then I back off from it. I get it. But if you give me opportunity, I'm going to help you. Why? Because I'm an owner leader. Even in your life, if you allow me, I'm going to influence your life. If you allow me, I'm going to help your business grow. If you allow me, why? Because I'm going to take ownership. Why? Because everybody that succeeds helps the other people. Come on. Every businessman. Right? Then they pay their bills. They're not on welfare. Right? They're making a difference. They're involved in their community organizations, giving their money and doing their things. They're not fighting and beating their wife over money. Come on, help me out here. Anybody listening? Owners, leaders. When you make a commitment to a relationship, you invest your attention and energy in it more profoundly because you now experience ownership of that relationship, right? Come on, when you're just dating people and going out and spending time. No. See, I'm committed. I meet you the first time. I sit on an airplane with you. I meet you in a restaurant, on a street, at a coffee shop. I'm gonna take ownership right off the bat. No exceptions, no maybes, no nothing. Why? Because I'm an owner leader. And well, you know what? I'm not trying to brag on me. I want to court you. I want to engage you to be an owner leader. I want to tell you it's the greatest life in the world. I want to tell you that everywhere I go, I'm an owner. I go into a Walmart, a Walgreens, a Wall anything. Guess what? I'm the owner. And I treat it like ownership. You know how many people don't treat it like ownership? Leave their trash on the floor, eat the food, don't pay for it. Not only do they eat the food in the store, they don't throw the stuff away. Could you at least put your garbage in a bin somewhere? You stole the product, ate it. Why don't you just at least throw the container in a trash spot? All right? Say, I'm an owner. I'm a leader. I'm a winner. They go together. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you'll take this and adapt your life to it. If you do, you're going to be a better person. You're going to get more done. You will make a difference. See, you're great people. But if you don't walk in your greatness, if you don't live out who you are and what you are, then you're going to come short and you won't be happy. Can you say amen? Amen. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you tuned in, and I hope you stay tuned in, because we got some more really good stuff coming up. Have a great, great day.